Today I want to try to add ES. I want to add NPM packages back to Phoenix 1.6. I'm going to follow this guide and try to get it working. I think I should probably switch back to the main branch because I went down this explore function core. So I'm going to go back to the main branch. I don't think there's anything here that I really need to keep. Well, let's go ahead and merge it in. I think there are no conflicts and the code on the side might be useful. So what is this stuff? Diff, some more experimental stuff, I think. I don't think I need to keep any of this stuff. Okay, check out. So we will go to the main. What's here? We prevented circular references and get merge explore functional core, which we added some bits. Log p. What was added to application? Experience config game get log p. Lib. Oh, okay. What was added to this one? Lib xr application get log p lib xr application. Experience registry. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Assets constructs. What's that? Cat bar. Assets constructs. Assets constructs. Okay, looks like I added a file. Maybe delete this for now. Okay. Clean slate inside the source directory. Nothing in here. And let's create a new branch here. Git push origin main. Git checkout branch. So now we want to modify esbuild to support npm. And if we look at this article, it says that esbuild is great, but sometimes you need to have npm, especially if you need packages. And so I'm going to make some changes here. Start by creating an assets package JSON. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's grab this. Copy. Assets package JSON. Jump over to our code. Assets package JSON. And paste. Okay, so the name will be my app assets, which is the XR assets, private, true, and then we map these scripts to esbuild, JS, deploy, watch, and then there are a couple things that Phoenix uses that it maps to the dependencies folder for those versions, and we're using a particular version of esbuild. And that should conform to the one that's in mix. ESX, let's see, esbuild. I actually can't see what version of esbuild.js that is. Is there a way to see it? Which esbuild? Or I'm in the container. Let's do it out here. Which esbuild? Because I just installed this. Oh, it would be in the node package, which oh well, I'm just gonna trust it for now. So we'll go to the next instruction. Now you're ending up with exactly the same scripts that were provided in Phoenix 1.5 before, as opposed to 1.6. It looks they're embedded esbuild that drops from node, but does require appropriate next create assets esbuild.js. So now we need this guy. Okay, copy that. Assets esbuild.js. Assets build.js. Paste. What does this thing do? This thing installs esbuild. Decide which mode to proceed with. Let mode equal build. Then look for an argument that is either watch or deploy. If it's watch, then the mode becomes watch, otherwise it becomes deploy. Oh no, if there's a watch flag, if there's a deploy flag. Otherwise it's a build flag. Define esbuild options plus extra. Okay, so the ops become JS, app.js is the entry point. Bundle is true, log level this, target this. The out directory will be put into priv static assets, which is here, priv static assets, so it'll end up here. If the mode is watch, then you say watch is true, source map is inline, deploy is true, you're going to minify it. All right, it's pretty good. So this sets the options, and then you call esbuild, which will build with the options and then wait for the promise. And if the mode is watch, it will do some piping of the standard input to output, and then on end it will do some cleanup. Okay, that seems fine. Where do we actually install esbuild? Finally, run the commands assets install, and then run build, which will, what will it do? It will install these dependencies. I mean, these are already here, so it'll install this dependency. So that is, oh, that's the esbuild version that we're installing. 12.24, is that the latest version of esbuild? esbuild GitHub 1224. Oh, we've got updated versions. 14.2 instead of 12.24. Was it that way? We'll download that, and then let's give it a try. Where's our guide? Go back to our guide. npm prefix assets install. npm prefix assets install. npm dash prefix assets install. All right, we got our node modules folder now, and it has esbuild and some of these other things. And then run and build. And what will that give us? npm prefix assets build. We'll run this, which will do, I think it'll create an output in here. What happened? npm build call with no arguments. Did you mean run script build? Run build. And where'd it go? Okay, so the output was app.js. Okay, and what's the difference here? So if I do get down here, let's do down here, get status, what changed? And well, maybe those things are not under source control. I think they're being ignored actually. Get ignore. Git ignores the priv static assets. Yeah, so there's no way to compare what was there before, but it was blazingly fast, super fast, and it has compiled all of the JavaScript together. Phoenix, HTML, JS, sure. And what was the, just with this configuration, and let's close some files, and close this one too. Alright, what else? That's it for the JS side of things. Now when it comes to Elixir, you first have to change the watcher. Okay. In config dev. So go to config. Config dev. Where is it? Config dev. And watchers, that's the one before, and what is the new one? Here, I'm just going to move this down to my other screen so I can, or I don't have another screen, it's fine. So we want this thing, copy that. Where are my watchers? Watchers. Config my app, the my app endpoint, watchers is now going to be node Yeah, because we're executing the node version of esbuild to execute our JavaScript file with a watch flag. And we already have in this folder, and we already have some flags in here that will set the source map to inline and watch. So we just need this, that, and take this out like so. And we'll say the above default was replaced with, we'll leave a reference to this. And remove this, oops. Remove that part. And what else we got? While you're at it, remove the esbuild config from the config.js. Config esbuild. So this was the configuration before. Esbuild default out directory was there. External fonts and images. Target bundle. That was that. Alright, so it says we can remove this. Then visit mix exs and apply the following changes. Mix says you can remove the esbuild dependency, which is here. We don't need this. And then in aliases, change the assets deploy alias to invoke command npm instead of the esbuild version. Come on, copy that. So aliases. Aliases are shortcuts or tasks defined for the current project. So we have assets deploy. Change assets deploy alias to invoke this. So we'll want assets deploy to run this string instead of this thing. Default minify npm prefix assets run deploy. Okay, what else? In aliases, change the setup alias to invoke command npm prefix as a last step after echo.setup. Aliases setup. Change the setup alias to invoke that as a last step after echo. Setup alias. Okay, but it didn't really. Oh, up here. Command npm, sure, okay. Finish the cleanup by running mix deps unlock -- unused. Mix deps unlock -- unused. Okay, so it removed CA store and esbuild. What we got here? Get status. Added some things and changed some things. Take a look. out, that out, that out. That's it. Here's a recap of the end result. Still using the same crazy fast esbuild. Bundling config is equivalent to the one provided by Phoenix new, but encapsulated in a single esbuild.js file. It's still invoked by Phoenix server in development. Still with nice output messages and still without zombie processes. You may start adding JS, CSS lib via npm install, save some lib, and importing them assets without writing on wrappers from hex. You may enrich your development with VS lints prettier with basically a single additional command. Once again, package JSON is the place to audit. Alright, now I noticed something back here, which was our file here calls into here, and so it doesn't supply itself a JS file. It just supplies this as ops. Oh, it's just an object. But if you notice from before, it had some externals. Here. This was the configuration around esbuild. These were the arguments. It would pass this as the entry point. It wants to bundle and has this target business. Let me copy over this so we can look at it. Original esbuild Elixir wrapper had the args. And we had this, entry point is still this, bundle is true, target is this, output directory is that. And then external. So how do we handle that? Let's take a look at the esbuild documentation. Over here, we've got simple options. You put in there scripts, build, define, entry point, external colon, external colon fonts, external colon images. You can use a wildcard to mark all files matching that pattern as external. For example, you can use :ping to remove all ping or images to remove all paths with images. There was a section regarding when build scripts. Is it bundling? Bundling for node. Simple options. Transform. This feature provides a way to replace global identifiers with constant expressions. I don't want that. Entry points. This is an array of files that each serve as an endpoint to the bundling algorithm. They are called entry points because each one is meant to be the initial script that is evaluated, which then loads all other aspects of the code that it represents. Instead of loading many libraries in your page with script tags, you would instead import statements to import them into your entry point or into another file that is then imported into your entry point. Simple apps only need one entry point, but additional entry points can be useful if there are multiple logically independent groups of code, such as a main thread and a worker thread, or an app with separate, relatively unrelated areas, such as a landing page, an editor page, and a settings page. Separate entry points help reduce separation of concerns and helps reduce the amount of unnecessary code that the browser needs to download. If applicable, enabling code splitting can further reduce download sizes when browsing to a second page whose entry points share some already downloaded code with the first page that has already been visited. The simple way to specify entry points is to just pass an array of file paths. This will generate two output files. In addition, where does it talk about how you can specify options? esbuild config file, yes. esbuild is the configuration file. esbuild can transform esbuild configuration file like this one. Oh, okay, so you just say external into a set of parameters for esbuild. Yes, this is what I want. Okay, so external just gives an array of this kind of stuff. Entry points. So I think we need something like this. External and put in fonts and images. Okay, now I think we're done. I don't know if this works. Let's try it. So, wizard command, run build. So fast. Alright. Let's delete these files. This one. Okay, it's not minified or anything. And if we just delete these one in priv, bam, they're gone. And are they back? Priv, and they're back. Okay. Okay, we'll add these. Git commit. Add. Oh wait, we should ignore some things, right? I think it's already being ignored because we added npm and git ignore. Yeah. Yeah, it's already being ignored. Add npm node modules to be used with esbuild. Push origin modify. All right, can we make a PR out of that? Copy. All right, thank you very much.